proceed with caution.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. It was good to let them
stop,
go
for
through.
sure.
They have priority.
Yeah.
For sure.
That means you don't have priority, but
Right.
once you can,
You're allowed to go through. Yeah. I want to talk to basically the city people. Because it's sort of really don't understand why
like, even if they can solve the country before they spend all that money.
Yeah. Hey, so these are the pedestrianized.
So the two green axes meet, right?
Yeah.
So where the community garden is, no, that was
Where
over
we-
Where we rented the bike, I think, is one of those intersect part. I was like, oh, this seemed more like Barcelona, like that, in that it wasn't all paella. It was like Mexican or Japanese, like ramen. And I was like, oh, this is probably where people who live here actually eat. But like, it wasn't quite the center.
It wasn't, it didn't have that sort of tourism.
Yeah,
Right?
it's because it's just kind of outside of that old center, right? This is nice. And so, like, you know, like these spaces would be new, probably, or
So from the sidewalk, you can see the sidewalk to where we are right now.
Okay.
It's been converted for So this is
Amazing,
This is the intersection.
Yeah, exactly.
One of the four intersections that was taken basically transformed.
Awesome.
Because you have the Consell de Cent access and then the Borrell access, or green axes, right? They asked the architects here to make a civic space, so it's one of the least green, in fact. They have a weekend market. They want civic activities. They want this to be sort of a multi-use space, whereas others are a bit more, I guess, more green.
They're more green.
So
Teenagers just hanging out in public. Being part of society and not being pushed into the corners.
And the age diversity, right? I love the age diversity, right? You have the elderly who are just coming out,
all the students back down.
And
I
you know,
think the tables make a big
Oh,
difference because people can do things and not only
Not just
talk,
consume.
which is okay, but they can eat their lunch or play games.
Chess.
We do. It's like in our neighborhood
exactly.
in Verdun, they close the main shopping street in the summer.
Yeah.
But one of the things I really liked that the city did was because initially, right, it's restaurants, but you have to buy the food to sit
exactly.
there. But now they have all these like free public tables, and one of the cellular companies even gives free Wi-Fi.
Great. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
those
so people
public,
can actually do stuff in their own space.
out in public.
Exactly.
They're not super used though. It seems like people aren't.
Well, I mean, they're used, but yeah, it's not.
But
I
it
do.
seems like it's not like in people's kind of habits of.
I think people. I don't like some people. I don't think they realize that it's like that's not a restaurant. Like the city has put that there.
Yeah.
So what I think we're going to do is we're actually going to go up to Valencia. Because for a couple of reasons. First, you see those big fences. They're doing a major infrastructure rehaul there. They're adding in a whole new train line underground.
Okay.
So it'll be uncomfortable for us to ride there.
Okay.
And also, I want to take you back the Champla so that you see what what these intersections are like. And then we'll come back to the green exit. We need to get around that anyway.
What do you mean? Yeah, it's like I'm like, like for the Wellington debate, the aspect of not like vehicles being able to access is like, you can have limited access.
More than just in the morning delivery.
Yeah. But then it's like, I'm also thinking it's like, like the actual road design. It's like you want to be able to communicate that it's not really a welcome space for cars.
Yeah, exactly.
But then it's difficult sometimes because that's often done by vibration. But then snow clearance, that's a problem. But this sounds like these types of things are like perfect little projects for like engineering students to you have to create something that like makes it uncomfortable for the cars but allows for good snow, doesn't impede.
Yeah, you're right. That is.
Those are good little.
Get people to start thinking about it.
Yeah.
So here you have a diagonal crossing the grid, right? Which creates this funky intersection, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna go back onto the grid, and then you'll see.
Okay. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's disorienting.
Yeah, exactly.
And from the bypass line that we took, there was a branch going here, this street, and then up. So there's several schools. So it's not only the 2 schools in here, but there's more.
Yeah, I saw some turning off. Yeah.
You're on. It looked like this.
Okay, before? Okay.
2 years ago. 2.5 years ago.
Okay.
With well, maybe not exactly. With the pandemic, they.
Had to clear a couple of my commutes off. My the SD card got full, but it just, as I said to Kevin, I'm like, I record when I'm biking to work, but unless there's an incident, I don't save it.
We'll get there. We'll change this eventually, but it's gonna happen.
So is this to our left here? Is it reclaimed space? Were you saying? Or
this is an older square. No, this is an older square. I was just pointing out that. The Janice who we met is working on transforming that street.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah. Like working in promoting it or
just the idea, just putting it on the agenda.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. Neighborhoods are connected.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. There was an interest when I was in Rotterdam maybe, or Den Haag, maybe Den Haag, but these types of places that they, if you will, brought back to human spaces, they would put they would have a billboard to basically this is what it looked like before, like remember, this was parking, this is just and I actually felt that was I was like,
very
oh, that's
effective, huh?
just to show, remind people
of what this space was like.
this was nothing before, this is just ugly parking.
Yeah, I'd say Barcelona residents have a very clear idea of what a street in the Eixample looks like. Yeah. And the regular or
what they were looking at, the origins of the people and the education level. But so they're finding these streets that there's an increase in foreigners with higher education, and it's one of those things but we find in Montreal we find the walkable neighborhoods. It's the same thing, but I was but we had income in ours, and it's not that they're wealthier, but it just for whatever reason people who have higher education, maybe it's this whole left, but they're more interested to live in these places.
Right, there's a pull, right? There's selection bias, right?
It's just a social, but because I was that whole complaint sometimes in the gentrification that they're the wealthy are pushing out the poor, but it's it didn't seem it's not the wealthier, it's just they're often people with PhDs, but not necessarily wealthy. Saying to Jordi when I was in Den Haag, so they had changed some of their old areas from parking to public spaces again. But they had the photos of the before, so you could look and be oh right, no, exactly. This used to just be full of cars, no trees, and I felt that was, I was oh, that's
a great way to sell it.
Yeah, just remind people
I like that. I can't remember that was it. Talking about the counterfactual idea of just
Yeah, it seemed to be like I noticed like in this conference, the first time I've come across it, but counterfactual was used.
Like a buzzword.
Yeah.
And again, it's almost like a willingness to accept ideas. It's like, if it's this, can you ever imagine going back?
Yeah. Oh, it's, so why change the streets to meet the to meet the garbage truck? Just change the garbage truck to meet the
subway underneath here, so they couldn't make this more green.
Okay.
But they put volleyball courts here.
Right.
So this green access goes all the way to the end. It's fairly large.
I honestly, I really like the scene, and I see this on Wellington, just teenagers being able to just hang out in public, you know? Yeah. And they want to be around like other, like, the rest of society. But they often don't have money, so they can't they can't go to the, Like me.
No, exactly.
You have to buy something, and then they only let you stay for a little bit, and then they tell you, please leave for other customers or something. it's like Zumba or something.
Nothing. That's not a cat.
Music that they play over there. Is that research and a tour?
I know, right?
We're getting paid for this, right? So So that infrastructure we were just on, in the middle of the road, is that fairly new? Do you know?
That was probably built, I don't know, they redesigned the Green Street maybe in like 2015 or so.
Oh, okay. Okay. So it's almost 10 years now, yeah. So where are we right now?
So we're actually between the Old City and the Champlain Bridge.
Okay.
So to our right, the Old City.
Okay.
And these were the old city walls, right? So Old City that way,
right.
The grid that way. This neighborhood was actually torn down after the siege of 1714.
Okay.
Well, long story, but basically the French Bourbon royal dynasty and the Castilians.
Okay.
Fought against the English and the Catalans were sort of the last city. It was the last city to fall. So it was a global war succession of 1714. But the Spanish throne without an heir, and so the Austrian-Hungarians thought it was theirs, and then the French thought it was theirs, and the Castilians and the French thought it was ours. And so then Barcelona was the last city to fall, and they were sieged. They were surrounded, and they didn't give up. And it was just like a dramatic, epic struggle. And then the Kings came in. They eventually won, so the Catalans lost. on September 11th, 1714. And so that was the Consell de Cent national holiday, celebrating their
September 11th.
September 11th, 1714. Celebrating it's their national holiday. Celebrating their defeat because they lost their so their legal code, their contractual code, all the institutions that existed in Catalonia were obliterated. And we're going to get they asked the neighborhood to tear down their homes and to build a fort that would control the city called the Citadel.
Right.
Let's see. So they were forced to tear down their homes. The whole neighborhood was obliterated.
Yeah.
They built the fort in this area right now here, which is now a park and the Catalan Parliament.
Okay.
Symbol of oppression, right?
Right.
And Barcelona wasn't allowed to go behind the military. Very elite,
I totally want to ride one. Oh my god. If only all cars were so that looks like so much fun though. Like, I think in Canada you wouldn't be able to, because it would be illegal.
Yeah, we would be street legal.
Yeah. Bird. That's it. Need to cut down all the trees. I just got bird poop on me. Public transport, so ugly.
Okay, we've crossed the entire city, huh? We're almost there. We're just like 5 blocks away now.
Explain to me this sign that looks like a number 4.
They want you, if you're turning that way, they want you to go around this island.
Ah, the tiny little island. Okay,
Yeah.
got
Just
it.
so that you don't
Got it.
If you just kind of stay here.
Interesting. Yeah, good. Yeah. Huh. Okay.
Or over the rail line, more like.
They have no gears.
I've got
It's
3
okay.
years.
Ah, you have.
I have strong legs. I bike up a mountain to my work.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, don't worry about us.
This is a hill.
It's a rail line, yeah.
Yeah.
And if need be, I can always get off.
We can
and
just
walk.
walk. Yeah.
And I get my momentum.
Yeah.
Go, 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 go. I picked up my speed so I could just like...
Yeah, exactly.